So, drifting. What is it? Where did it originate? And how have us Australians taken the concept and made it our own? My friend and I were wondering the same thing, because we had seen drifting and heard about it before, but we really wanted to find out what this crazy kind of driving is all about. And that's what we did. And in our documentary, we are hoping that you would come on this journey with us into the wild and exhilarating sport that is drifting. Drifting's origins can be tracked back to Japan in the early 90s, when it was invented by a man named Kunimitsu Takahashi.
When I was racing, everybody knew that I would win. So to stop people being bored and fed up with the same old thing, I started drifting the car through the corners, much more than the other drivers, to keep people interested, and it improved the popularity of the sport.
However, drifting wasn't made popular until the late 90s, when it was in fact largely made popular by a kid driving his Toyota Corolla through the mountains near his home. This young man's story would become so famous that it would inspire one of the most influential pieces of drift media ever, Initial D. On our journey, we went to a drift event and got to witness this crazy driving on display firsthand. And we also spoke to a couple of drifters in various stages of their drifting careers to hear their opinions on the sport.
My name's Jai, and I guess I drift. Started drifting probably around 2010, so I remember it was high school. And my friend of mine just gave me a DVD for Initial D. I was watching that and I was hooked. I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. Watching Initial D, I just love the whole the mountain thing, but I never really did it. But I just love the Japanese cars, the JDM scene, and just build a car and just abuse it.
Within JDM, I do love Skylines, Evolutions, Supras. If you go back into the 90s, 80s years, almost anything.
Love the Japanese subculture, and drifting and cars was one of them. You know, it was it's such a suppressed society, I guess. Everyone just work. It's and the drifting is so opposite. You can't express yourself.
The feeling of the power behind the car that you're in control of, that's where everything comes from. As soon as I hear the engine turn on, that's okay, I'm in control of this. It's a huge beast I'm in control of, and that just, wow.
After attending our first drift event, one of the first things that we noticed was that yes, there were some pros who were there in fancy high-powered cars, but there were also those who were driving cheap and hobbled together cars who were just out there to have a great time. And that is one of the greatest aspects of this sport, which is that it's not like other types of racing, where having the fastest and best car is everything. When drifting, you're not trying to win or get the fastest time. The only person you're trying to beat is yourself.
It's very free, and and anyone can get into it. You don't have to have a lot of money, to get into karting or formula racing or whatever. And drifting is pretty much the grassroots, the young kid on the block that most people can get into and have a crack. Back in the 90s, there's a DVD called Hot version, which is pretty much all the cool Japanese race car drivers that do mountain runs and they do drift battles and stuff like that. Now over time, you see a lot more Australian cars are into it. And we see a lot of Holdens and 80 Falcons is a trend now. Everyone's doing it.
think I've seen so many videos and like reels or whatever about them, and I'm so like, they give me so much entertainment and thrill just from watching them on my phone. But like seeing them in real life, like the sounds, the feel of the cars, like just feeling going against you, that would be another level.
I believe that this is the heart of Australian drifting. It's less about cool, underground Japanese aesthetics. It's more about jumping in a car and just having a go.
Not trying to copy something and we're turning like that culture into our own, which is kind of cool.
Tonight, our exclusive vision shows a modified car drifting from one lane to another at dangerously high speeds.
This driver appears to have a death wish, totally irresponsible driving.
Now, just in case you were thinking of trying this at home, this is a graphic demonstration of what can go wrong. How did you manage to do this?
I came around the corner too quickly. It was excessive speed, and I skidded and ended up on the bank.
I don't feel like hooning is a motorsport. Being a motorsport, you got to be in a controlled environment and you got to have some sort of professionalism to it, right? Unfortunately, like, you can't rewrite history. It's part of the underground culture, I guess. You know, like, without it, then we wouldn't have the sport today. It's my work, we try to promote, keep drifting off the street. That's why we do what we do and do a lot of drift events. Nowadays, yeah, okay, it's not so much, but like back in the 90s in Japan, they just had to do what they had to do. I crashed a lot when I was younger. Probably like three cars I crashed.
I mean, there's risk in everything. YOLO, I guess. But I don't think about the risk when I get behind the wheel. Like, it's not a conscious thing I think about.
I do feel like if the modification is safe and done proper, especially these days, I feel like most things were done pretty properly.
The reason I don't fully modify my car is because of those safety concerns, and since it's old.
Like, you could have like the roughest day on track, you're still gonna have a good time. Just try it. If you don't like it, don't do it. If you do like it, buy a car and just have fun.
So, drifting. Now that you know what it is, where it started and how us Aussies like to do it, what do you think? Would you like to see more? Or are you still unsure? Either way, we hope that you've learned something new and that maybe we've opened people's eyes to this crazy and high-octane sport.
If you like money, don't do it.